Good morning, Mandal. Today we are going to discuss about the cyclic structure of glucose. To overcome the drawbacks of open chain structure, Tollens and Howard proposed some cyclic structure for the glucose. Here, the 3 members, 4 members, 7 member rings are less stable than 5 member and 6 members. That's what um, Tollens and Howard proposed 5 member and 6 members hemiastrial rings. Now we will see those rings. Here this is cyclic hemiastrial structure. Here this is open chain structure. Here first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon. From the fourth carbon bearing oxygen form cyclic structure with aldehyde group, and this hydrogen is shifted towards this oxygen and forms all hydroxy groups. So this is the Tollens structure. This is Tollens structure and 5-membered furanose hemiastrial structure. 5-membered furanose hemiastrial structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-membered hemiastrial furanose structure. This structure was proposed by Tollens. This is open chain structure of glucose. Here at fourth carbon bearing oxygen form cyclic structure with aldehyde carbon, and this hydrogen is shifted towards oxygen and form hydroxy groups. This is the 5-membered Tollens structure, and this is Haworth structure, pyranose structure, 6-membered hemiastrial structure. Here the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth carbon bearing oxygen formed cyclic structure with aldehyde carbon and hydrogen bearing this hydrogen form hydroxy groups with this oxygen. According to this, we will explain all the drawbacks of open chain structure. According to this cyclic structure, we will explain all the drawbacks of open chain structure. When glucose does not restore pink coloration of Schiff's reagents because in no aldehyde group, because the cyclic hemiastrial structure positive test for Tollens and failing reagents. These are explained by this hemiastrial structure. Tollens and failing reagents open the ring, and then aldehyde form with open chain and gives a positive report for Tollens and failing test. Tollens and failing reagents are capable to open the ring. Here the hemiastrial structure can explain all the drawbacks of open chain structure like pink coloration. It means glucose does not restore pink coloration of Schiff's reagents because in the cyclic structure the aldehyde group is formed cyclic structure and hydroxy group is obtained. Cyclic hemiastrial structure positive test for Tollens and failing reagents. Tollens and failing reagents open the ring, then aldehyde form with open chain and gives a positive report for Tollens reagents and failing test. And ammonia and sodium bisulfite are mild reagent, then unable to open the ring. Ammonia and sodium bisulfite are mild reagents. They are unable to open the ring. By this cyclic hemiastrial structure, we will explain non-aldehydic properties and aldehydic properties of glucose. By this cyclic hemiastrial structure, we will explain non-aldehydic property and aldehydic properties of glucose. Now we will see one important concept, that is metarotation. If the glucose recrystallized from water exceeds plus 112 degrees specific rotation, as time passes, this specific rotation decreases to 52.7 degrees, which is called as metarotation. Here, this is a very, very important concept. Metarotation. If the glucose recrystallized from water exceeds plus 112 degree specific rotation, as time passes, as times goes on, this specific rotation decreases to plus 52.7 degrees, which is called as metarotation. If the glucose is recrystallized from acetic anhydride or acetic acid exhibits plus 19 degrees specific rotation. As time passes or times goes on, this specific rotation increases to 52 plus 52.7 degrees, which is called as beta rotation. See here, friends, this is alpha glucose. Here, when we recrystallize this glucose from water, here the specific rotation is plus 112 degrees. Then on time passes, this specific rotation decreases to 52.7 degree. Then this is beta glucose. This is the glucose is recrystallized from acetic acid, exhibits plus 19 degrees specific rotation. As time passes, this specific rotation increases to 52.7. So these two are equilibrium. In cyclic hemiacetal structure, two forms are possible. First one is alpha glucose and second one is beta glucose. In aqueous solution, cyclic ring opens. In absence of aqueous solution, ring formation takes place. When glucose recrystallizes from water, then 100% alpha glucose with 2 specific rotation. By passing time, the ring formation increases alone. To this, alpha rotation decreases and beta rotation increase. After some time, at 52.7 degrees centigrade, 52.7 degrees specific rotation, equilibrium takes place between alpha and beta. At equilibrium, alpha is 36% and beta is 64%. Beta rotation also supports the cyclic hemiacetal structures of glucose. These are the beta rotation. Now we will see Fischer projection formula of glucose. Fischer projection formula and Haworth formula and Sachs-Mort formula. We will see. Here, this is Fischer structure of glucose. Here, HCOH. Here, OH is right side. Then it is called alpha D glucopyranose. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-membered ring. Fischer projection formula of glucose. Here, if OH is right side with respect to this carbon, then we call this is a alpha D glucopyranose. If this OH is left side to this carbon, then we call beta D glucopyranose. These are the Fischer projection formula of glucose. Now Haworth's formula. In this formula, OH group present right side of Fischer projection formula should be right in below, left alone. Right in below, left above. This is the Haworth structure of alpha D glucopyranose, CH2OH. This OH is below, alpha D glucopyranose. This OH is up on this carbon. This is beta D glucopyranose. Any 6-membered saturated ring exists in chain conformation. This is Sachs-Mort structure. Here, this OH is present at axial position. These are alpha D glucopyranose structure. This in a beta D glucopyranose, OH is at equatorial position. This is beta D glucopyranose and this is alpha D glucopyranose. Here, at this, the carbons at C1 carbon, OH is present at axial position, and C2 carbon means C1 carbon, OH is present at axial position, and C2 OH is present at equatorial position. C3 OH is present at equatorial position. C4 OH is except C1 remaining all carbons are present, all hydroxy groups are present at equatorial position. In beta the glucopyranose, here all the OH present on carbons are possessed at equatorial position. On one an axial is less stable, all equatorial is more stable. That's what this beta D glucopyranose is more stable. The hydroxy group present on equatorial positions are more stable. The at least one hydroxy group present at axial positions are less stable. That's what this beta D glucopyranose are more stable than alpha D glucopyranose. So this is about the various structure of glucose. I will say a small concept, that is anomers. In carbohydrates, the isomers which differ in configuration only at C1 carbons are called anomers. In carbohydrates, the isomers which differ in configuration only at C1 carbon are called anomers. Alpha D glucopyranose and beta D glucopyranose are anomers. Alpha D minus fructofuranose and beta D fructofuranose are anomers. Alpha D fructopyranose and beta D fructopyranose are anomers. In cyclic products, wherever cyclizing takes place, that carbon is C1 carbon. So once again I am explaining anomers. In carbohydrates, the isomers which differ in configuration only at C1 carbons are called anomers. Example, alpha D glucopyranose and beta D glucopyranose. Alpha D glucopyranose and beta D glucopyranose. Alpha D fructofuranose, alpha D fructofuranose and beta D fructofuranose. Alpha D fructopyranose and beta D fructopyranose are example for the anomers. We will see the structures of this glucopyranose, and this is here alpha D fructopyranose. This is alpha D fructopyranose. Here the C1 carbon, alpha D fructofuranose. Here this is C1 carbon. Here this OH is right side, here OH is the configuration at this position is different. That's what we say. These two are anomers. We'll see another example. Alpha D glucopyranose and beta D glucopyranose. Here we will see here also see here alpha D fructopyranose, beta D fructopyranose. Here the position of hydroxyl group at C1 carbon is different. Here CH2, here the downside the CH2OH is there, but here OH is there. So at C1 position the configuration of groups are different. That's what we call, these are the anomers. So this is about the anomers. Now I will see epimers. The isomers having more than one chiral centers but different in configuration at any one chiral center are called epimers. Epimers also very important. The epimers having more than one chiral center but different in configuration at any one chiral center are called epimers. Here, for example, D-mannose and D-glucose. D-mannose and D-glucose are C2 epimers. D-mannose and D-glucose are C2 epimers because here at second carbon OH is left side and here the at second carbon the OH is right side. So at the C2 position the configuration different. That's what these are the epimers, C2 epimers. The isomers having more than one chiral center but different in configuration at only one chiral center are called epimers. These two are the here the configuration at C4 position 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. At C4 position, here this OH is present on right side and at this C4 position the OH is present on left side. These two are C4 epimers. Glucose, D-glucose and D-galactose are C4 epimers. So these are the examples for the epimers. So this is about the today class. We will again meet in tomorrow class. Okay.